The World Economic Forum, WEF Africa, hosted in Durban, will go down as the most successful meeting as it openly interrogated the pressing challenges of inclusive growth and received strong comments on youth development. The robust participation of African leaders, captains of industry, civil society organizations over the past 3 days will help shape how we work together to move Africa forward in these critical times. The forum held that growing exclusion, particularly among young people, has created an urgent need to draw on people on the continent to share in the benefits of its growth. In working towards facilitating growth and prosperity, a fundamental imperative that must inform our every policy action is the development of the mind of the African child. In this regard, African governments made various commitments at the forum to empower and develop young people in their countries. South Africa sees its young people as central to the country's national development and has taken the bold step to include youthful leaders into the country's national executive to contribute their energy, experience and expertise to the government. There is a large skills initiative for youth that is underway. It includes the Social Accord on Youth Employment tax incentives and sector education and training to raise the skills capacity of our young people. The National Rural Youth Service Corps program provides skill training to rural, and the National Youth Development Agency supports young people in mentorship skills and training and entrepreneurial development. South Africa is one of the 3 African countries alongside Nigeria and Cameroon in which the skills initiative for youth is being implemented. We welcome the positive feedback from young delegates attending the youth sessions. For example, Liz Mwange, a Nairobi Global Shaper, expressed that she was pleased to have engaged in sessions with President Zuma on his perspective on youth development. WEF Africa highlighted that in many aspects, African countries are already addressing their challenges in light with our continental blueprint, Agenda 2063, in implementing it. In implementing Agenda 2063, we envision Africa as a world leader for inclusive economic development, democratic governance, and a humane and just social order. Moves are also underway to transform Africa's economy through infrastructure development in order to facilitate ease of movement of goods, people, and services across the continent. Under the helm of President Zuma, the Presidential Infrastructure Champion Initiative, as part of the new Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, is helping accelerate regional infrastructure development in Africa. There's also critical work being done to promote regional integration and intra-Africa trade. Delegates participated in discussion on how nations can industrialize and unlock the industrial corridors across the continent. While plans are afoot to grow the African economy, President Jacob Zuma reminded delegates to be mindful of the fact that opportunities created from growth must not be enjoyed only by a few. The interactions at the Forum on Inclusive Growth resonate strongly with South Africa's own journey to bring more South Africans into the mainstream economy. South Africa appreciates the opportunity created by WEF Africa to share the growing range of developments and investment opportunities within the country that are of interest to investors. Team South Africa profiled the lucrative investment opportunities available. South Africa has consistently showed itself to be a dynamic, profitable, and stable investment destination. The country remains committed to its current policy orientation. Our country is the most diversified economy on the continent and plays an integral role in Africa's advancement. It is also in a great location for growing business in other parts of the continent. Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, said during his special remarks that WEF on Africa has underscored the broad consensus among policymakers, business people, development practitioners, activists and communities that the continent needs to pursue a path of accelerated growth that is sustainable and inclusive. The people of the continent must not only share in the benefits of this growth, they must own, control, direct the levers of the economic activity. On behalf of the people of South Africa, government would like to thank all participants for the contribution made during the 27th World Economic Forum on Africa and for making it success. I would like to thank, on behalf of President Zuma, African leaders, the non-global leaders of the world for addressing the challenges raised and stimulating hope among the peoples of the continent. As government, we hope that they will never neglect the young population of Africa and be subjected by the developed world. I would also like to thank our media partners for being part of the WEF on Africa and taking the conversations at WEF on Africa to the homes of people through the various platforms such as radio, television, and the internet.